Welcome. Market open and it's 31st of March, last day of March. So tomorrow it's going to be April, guys. And Q3 ends with that. So it's going to be volatile. Not only that, but there's a lot of numbers coming in as well this week. So it's going to be really volatile. Be aware. And we are on kind of on the edge, if you ask me about it, what we're going to do. But let's jump in and see what we are waiting for, kind of. So starting with VIX, like I always do, um, we are at the resistance and we technically reject that one already. So we are aiming to get lower at 27 or even close to 25. That's the low that we technically want to lose or break the whole structure and get back at 17. But if that's going to be the case, that takes time because we are quite high right now. And I always look at it on the daily for that perspective. We are still in this whole uptrending move, right? So don't deny that there is still a lot of to deal with to even change this whole structure because we definitely need to break 25-ish and then start to get close to 18. So that's still quite a lot of work to do, in my opinion. Can go quick, but that's as well set to the upside. So yeah, we are still uptrending on volatility, and I'm not I'm not thinking that's gonna change this week or in even a couple weeks so far. I think that's gonna continue for a while. But yeah, still 19 cent is 25. Lose that, we potentially gonna sweep into the lows quite quickly. That would be really nice to see. Following up with Dixie, I've mentioned that as well quite lately on the different streams, but we are breaking out of this whole range that we settled from May 25. So 2025 even, sorry. So that's been a while that we are in this range, and yeah, we technically breaking constantly out of it, but we are still getting the rejection from the resistance of it, but that's quite heavy, and obviously because the $100, it's quite a significant mark for the dollar, right? So yeah, get back at 101. That's still gonna take some movement into it, but that's gonna be the quite massive breakout, right? If you ask me. So this is still in continuation upwards. Changing that needs to break $99, but then you gotta get back at 98, and that could be potential as well. Your support, right, for the continuation or even sideways. So not much happening right now on the dollar side. Use only continuation into the 101, right? But this is still big resistance what we are at. That's not something that we should deny as well. And we technically setting a higher high already on it as well on the daily. So yeah, this is still it's uptrending, right? Same thing as volatility, right? We still breaking up into the highs, into that higher area that we settled on 35. So yeah, potentially that could be as well a little bit more continuation in our side. So market tempt to go a little more sideways, or don't want to say that, but we could see potentially a bigger sweep into the lows. Speaking about that, moving on the total tree, but I like to look at it as well. We coming back from the resistance, what we got at 750 area. So potentially we did break the previous low that we settled on it, and we are in a broken structure into the lows. Yes, we are holding on support. That's the last support before we're gonna get back at even under 670. So yeah, we potentially aiming for a bigger sweep, right, into the lows. So yeah, still continuation to the downside till otherwise, right? So that's something to aim for or to watch out for. At least holding on 696. So that's the level that we don't want to break if we want potentially to regain any highs or reverse the market, right? Pardon me. So yeah, now moving on gold, we did break quite significant structure on it as well, and with that buyback, right, and the retest of 4K and 332, we did set kind of like a support on it right now, and we technically holding on it until we gonna break of 400, yeah, sorry, 4K for 585. That's the high that we really need to regain right now on the daily. Close here and then start to even trying to get any kind of potential rebounds into the highs of almost 5K position to underside retest this whole failure, and then see if we're gonna hold on this or we're gonna grind it. Like in my whole perspective opinion right now about it, just because we broke quite significant, we took quite a lot of liquidity, regain the high. That's, I don't think that's gonna be that quick. We're gonna spend some time either in this area or in this area for potential build up on the range, right? Something like this, like something that gold tend to do quite a lot. So, but yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to see what we're gonna deal with for the next couple months, definitely. But on the daily time frame, we are quite nice and overcooled, and we starting to reverse, and we have some rejections or reversal signs already coming in on it. So yeah, gold can potentially go higher up on it, right? So yeah, let's have a look on silver as well. That's been breaking the structure quite heavily on it. Oh, hey, Max.
Yo, yo, brother, what's crack a
Hello,
lacking? All
hello,
good?
hello. All good, all good. Covering for Viking.
Yeah, you're looking at silver, gold. Have you done the Bitcoin analysis?
Not yet, not yet. I'm just going through the metrics
Starting
and
with the gold and silver stuff.
yeah, I always can start with the metrics and the gold and VIX, volatility, Dixie, and all that stuff. Then I'm moving on into the Bitcoin. Hmm.
Lovely. I'm here, man. I'll
Cool,
chime in if I see anything.
cool, cool, cool. So yeah, silver. A little bit worse than gold, of course, right? It's a little bit more volatile on that perspective, and it did break quite significant lows already. Something to consider as well. If we're gonna close right now around or even above $70, then that's gonna be a new high. So yeah, it's up grinding, same as gold, and then you technically need to regain the $80 to even reach the swing failures highs that we came back from. So yeah, it is in a broken structure, potentially aiming to regain stuff, but there's nothing yet to say about it. So yeah, it is rebounding, it is holding, but if we start to fail right now, even 68, then we're gonna start to get back in the lowest structure at 50, 53-ish area. This whole support what we build up over here. Yeah. So yeah, this is still in a downtrend, still otherwise, right? So not much to not much on 4 hour, still in the resistance area. So watch out for that one. If you really want to get back at least at $80, then you need to regain your 74. Right, that's the high that is still keeping us down. Technically, we did break that. Right, if we want to look at it, we are holding on the previous, like the previous low that we settled on it. But yeah, it is still in the broken structure. So regaining 74, it start to get you back at 76. That's the flip that you need to get back at 80, right? If not, this will grind lower or even sideways. So that's some things to consider. And already on 4 hour, you are in super overheated area with even two reversal signs. So yeah, not something that we want to see, of course, but yeah, let's see. So that's going to be playing out. Moving on, I will have a look on the whole Nasdaq. We are still holding on the 2K and $106. So a little bit more above, front running it, but yeah, we're starting to get quite cold off. Like this is quite a dump, but we potentially could even sweep lower. That's not a big issue. But then yeah, you're really aiming to get at the underside readers of 2.2, and then regaining that for any potential of structure change, right? So that's kind of the thing that we want to see. But yeah, it's starting to get a little bit more dumpy and a little bit more to the downside to like sweep the low freaking liquidity and all that stuff. And that's not only on stocks but even on crypto. But we could potentially see a bounce coming in, right? There's stuff moving in right now with market open, so potentially, yeah, we could see some bounce into the underside retest or even the high. Same thing for the dominance. But dominance been breaking the lows for ages already. Not so much of anything of regaining, but yeah, it's still in a broken structure. And like I've been saying as well, like the 58 was the line in the sand for me, and that's been broken. So technically, I'm right now looking at the sweep of 57. That wouldn't be that crazy if you not start to regain anything above 59 on it, right? But yeah, it's still in the broken structure. So weird position, but I think that's not something that we didn't been in yet in the whole market. So yeah, let's move on the Bitcoin daily analyst, the whole metrics that I'm looking at it. We start to pull off on the oscillators on it. So technically it's a good sign, but we've been there as well, right? We've been in that position that we started to look good, and then we had this whole dumpy area. And to be honest with you, this starts to look exactly the same what we did over here. We didn't reach this resistant point over here, that hip that we fell from. We front run it quite heavily, and right now I'm kind of feeling that we are over here in this area, because we did hold on the low, same thing that we are holding on here on the 65.5 area. So if we're gonna break that low, there's nothing else that hold us. That was same thing over here. Was nothing else that's holding us, was to the left. So we had one small rebound from the lows that we swiped, right? What we could do potentially over here, and then we had this whole dumpy area. So let's see how that's going to be playing out. We are technically doing the same thing in my opinion. It's a really interesting structure so far, and yeah, it looks like we might recover, but the price is still pushed lower, right? So like I said, the 65.8, losing that, it's been already tested, so be aware. It's not much that it's going to hold us, but then there is as well nothing else to the left. So yeah, we could do that one more. Same thing over here, getting back at the 50K. Wouldn't be surprised at all, and that wouldn't be even weird, in my opinion. And then grind a little bit more into the sides for the 3 months, and then you start to get quite close into the summertime, right? So yeah, let's see. But yeah, potentially this could bounce back, right? Get back at the 70.6 area, the underside retest, being failure of that high. Yeah, definitely in place for a short if you're not going to start to regain that. Overall, we are quite heavy in the stable coins. Alts are starting to get in the neutral line, and shitcoins starting to pick up, but large caps are down in almost minus 40%. Still in cash flow negative. So that's as well something to consider. We didn't flip the cash flow into the positive, same what we did over here. We're still continuing in. So yeah, it's something that we are still in downtrending, right? We did break the structure already from this whole move from the upside that we had. So yeah, this is still broken structure. Still, we're gonna regain the 71. Okay, that's on the daily, right? That's the high time frame. Now, overall, to add up to the market overview, we are having USDT and Dixie, right? Silver and PEX are quite neutral, a little bit more stable and sideways, but the whole market is down, right? That's quite obvious. In Nasdaq, SPX, Bitcoin, ETH, and the whole total market is down. Like we are already like in area of minus 40 and 60%. That's quite heavy, right? That's on a weekly. That's high time frame stuff. So for that to change, we seriously need to do the whole rotation of funds, right? So yeah, not something that showing that it might do right now. We are still on the daily, even quite heavily down, right? On the Nasdaq, that's getting already like minus 70%. SPX in minus 40. So yeah, funds are getting slowly in, but it's nothing significant yet. Overall market tends to be around minus 30. capital outflow on a daily, and then the rotation is still in Dixie, right? Silver is a little bit more higher up, and BAX G as well. Interesting. Most of it is in ETH. That's quite good because ETH have a little bit more better structure and it's holding a little bit more better than the rest of the coins price. But yeah, overall, we are still in the down movement. Not much changing yet on the high time frame. So yeah, now move on. Let me have a sip of my coffee first. now, now we're gonna have some interesting stuff. Quite dangerous, but interesting. So, if I'm gonna focus on 4 hour only, we did have that weekly open, right? What was quite nice, and we had the push into the highs. We did break out of it, so we settled a new high on. Perfect, that's great. We came back, retest the previous high of the swing. Want to call it high of the swing, perfect retest, and then we had a really nice sneaky close right over here. This was a perfect sneaky close on 4 hour, right, to the T. Now that said, that's still fine till we're gonna hold on the lows. We are doing that, but at the same time we did test every single low. This is tested, and even the weekly is already tested. So we lost the daily. And now, if and only if the 4 hour close start to close above the daily, right? So if you're gonna even close above the 67H or even higher, closing here, I could consider it recovered, right? The daily loss. That could be. But watch out if this start to reverse, getting lower, and we start to get back at the lows again. Yeah, we potentially gonna aim for the sweep of the lows. If every single thing is already tested, nothing's holding us, we could potentially grab the lows and even. I'm not considering 63.8 a hold, but we could see small bit stop if we're gonna get into those low leverage liquidity, right? But the next step is definitely the 62 or even lower. Why? I'm gonna show you that in a second. But still, overall, we need to close now anything above the 1 hour or 4 hour above the daily open to recover that, and then considering getting back at the resistance right now. Right, where is the resistance? Just to visualize you a little bit. So this is the same structure. It is on 1 hour, but same thing. Right, we had that failure over here of 68. We get at the lows. We had that sneaky close over here, and then we broke that structure on 1 hour, right? That's quite clear to see. Right now we have the bounce. Look at that. There are quite a lot of bits stepping in. 1.111K of Bitcoin. That's quite heavy. So potentially, if that's not gonna push us lower, we regain that and we're gonna start climbing up higher up. That's good, right? Then we starting to get into this whole uptrending movement, even if we lost the 1 hour structure. That's still potentially good to go higher up. But unfortunately, there is not much to grab, right? There's not much stacking. But then when we're gonna zoom in and look a little bit more lower, if, for example, we're gonna fail from the from the high of the resistance at 68, that area over here, that's said, we're gonna continue going lower. Why? Because that's the low. That's the technically higher high, but that's the new low. So you create a higher low and we break the structure into the lows, and you are in a broken structure to going and grinding lower. Now, funny thing is why I said that the hip of 63-ish might not hold you or have like a small pit stop, just because there is a little bit more liquidity over here. Not something significant, but still a little bit to have a little bit of pit stop on it. But then where is the major one? Now, funny or not, it's around 60K. So that's at the low of the whole wick. What we said over here, 60 and 58.
Yo, Adrian,
Yes.
I'm just going to post an image for everybody. Oh, fucking hell, that meme's crazy in the chat. I'm going to post this image. So, yeah, a good friend of mine, I was chatting to him today. he has found like a really good liquidation
MLT.
heat map. Also, yeah, and
Yeah.
he was it's completely free. So
Yeah.
I've been using that today. I'm not really a big heat map or stop loss guy, but I have been looking at it, and it's completely free, and it's actually really good. But
Yeah.
I'm not like massively into it. I kind of stick with the traditional levels as well as the SR, etc., and then all of the fucking indicators we have, like AR charting tools and everything in the indicator suite. But um, at the end of the day, it's lining up pretty much exactly where you're saying, like the kind of not good for the bulls, but there is just more fucking liquidations and stop losses below us at the moment. So going down towards 64 and lower, and it goes into the same count as we're in a downtrend anyway on the lower time frames. On the higher time frames are on a downtrend on the macro in a bear market. So it's like three fucking things: bear market, macro, longer term downtrend, and even on the lower time frames right now. If you draw, you probably got it on one of your charts somewhere, Adrian. I can't share my screen right now, but you've got like a channel at the moment, on the hourly, in terms of we have lower highs and lower lows. Even if you go on, like I said, even if you zoom out a little bit further, sorry, so you can see the structure before. Yeah, if you go from the prior high where you've got up there in the middle of this whole, up at the top, 74k prior high, we've got a series of lower highs. Yeah, from there, then the next one down, So we actually do have lower highs and lower lows there. But one thing is a channel coming down. So it wouldn't surprise me to see it pop back out. But ultimately, on the higher time frame, we're still in a fucking bear market. So, if we're gonna do a similar fractal to the prior, formation we got above, we're just gonna get lower prices, and it could go to 37k. It could go to 37. I don't think it will. It just can go there.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
it's
I
just whether
agree.
they whether they want to break the fractal or not. If they want to break the fractal and change it, and then we actually get above 74, and then that's really the big key inflection point for me is like you get above 74, you buy it as a retest trade. If we lose March and around 66, 65, that's kind of it for me, really. We're likely going to go quite a lot lower.
Yeah.
It's a good website. Check it out. It's called I didn't even say the URL. The URL exactly, if you want to get my exact
Yeah,
chart,
the
is
AMT is that.
app.
Yeah, we've been talking about that as well with Viking, and Viking is using quite heavily about that one. I do have it. I didn't backtest it yet by myself because I didn't have that much time for it yet. But I'm setting it up as well, so that's why I didn't share it. Because if I didn't backtest anything, then there is no point for me to share it, right? If I'm not behind it. But yeah, Viking has
Yeah.
been
The
quite
good
heavy
thing about
about
it
it.
is that it's just free.
Yeah.
That's the good thing about it. It's free, and you get a bunch of heat maps. And the cool thing is you get the hyperliquid actual order books.
Yes,
So a lot
and
of these
stop losses are
liquidation
great on
engines are
that one
actually,
as well. On the hyper liquid.
yeah, they're kind of trying to a lot of these products are trying to like guess where it is because they don't know exactly. But this is actually coming straight from hyperliquid, so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, I
it's
agree.
definitely worth having a look at.
Yeah, yeah, I have been over here as well, right? But I didn't have like time to set it up and everything, and to backtest it, like I said. So that's why I don't want to show something that I didn't back it up right yet. And Viking
Yeah,
did
yeah. All
his
right, bro.
own
Have a good
chart, so
one.
yeah, he did it show that last time. But yeah, I need to get on it. I'm quite busy lately, so. But anyhow, yeah, it's lines up, right? Like we show it as well. Like it lines up always with the same levels, even if you use it or not. The heat maps are always the same levels. Like right now, we are aiming if we start to break, and technically this is still in the downtrending just because of the low. We need to regain the high of literally 68, and that's with really high order bits right there. So let's see if that's going to be pushing us lower, yes or no, right? If we're going to lose the low right now, then there's not much stopping us, right? So yeah, we are pressed, and there is pressure more to the downside than to get back at the highs again, right? So don't hesitate and don't go against that. So yeah, moving on the charts. Yeah, it looks good right now, but we need to close something. First thing first, we need to start to close the 1 hour, and that's in 5 minutes. So we could potentially see a nice close in 1 hour. So that's good. But then 4 hours is still the key, right? So we still have 2 hours to go for it. If that starts to reverse, then yeah, then whole hands on deck, and we're gonna go lower. But so far, we do hold it, right? Don't get me wrong, we do hold it. We are the perfect retest of the weekly, and we are bouncing back from it. Right now, we
I'm
seriously
gonna
do
have to
close.
jump ship, bro.
No worries, man. No worries. Yeah.
So I don't want to cut you off, but I got to jump ship. But I did a whole, I did analyzed all the price guides on my YouTube channel. So go check out my last video on YouTube as well. You're legends. Speak soon, Adrian.
Yeah. Have a good one.
Cheers.
So yeah, regaining the 67.6, that's the high that you really need to regain and hold on that one, right? So even if you're gonna continue doing that till a high of 68 or even 70, still this is the downtrend, right? The whole regain of stuff of the high time frame start to get back at 71 too, right? That's the prior high that you need to regain on high time frame on the daily or anything particular to change in the structure and the movement, right? So the momentum is still lower, but the regain of that high will start to change or potentially get back at 74 or maybe even higher, right? But that's something that we are not yet there. We are starting to reverse. That's fine. We're seeing the oscillator getting below the neutral line and minus 30. That's still good. Nothing significant yet. This still could potentially go lower, right? Don't don't think easily about it or too soft about it, right? So yeah, that's something, yeah, to look out, I guess, right? In couple for the next couple days. And to be honest with you, this weekly close was on the edge. That was literally to the point of the edge, right? You couldn't close it better than that. Yes, we did wick lower, but that's still a wick. But overall on the body, we do hold. And that's why I said this is your last hold of the support. Anything below 65, it's done. You're done. There's nothing else to hold that. Till we're gonna met the first technically order placements, and that's around 50, 60 area, right? So yeah, are we potentially doing the same thing? Looks like we could. So yeah, sorry for all my lines, but yeah, it's still nice bounce. Now we need to regain something significant. And already for our oscillator as well, right? We start to curve a little bit more back or into the neutral line. So yeah, it's not something to go lightly about. Especially, guys, I know that a lot of people forgot about that. How important are the tests, right, and the structure? Because right now, the only thing that matters is this, and there is nothing else below. Because regaining that, right, get back at the high, that's fine because you still can continuing grinding upwards. That's perfect. But we all know, I hope we all know what happens if you do that. That's technically planned for a disaster to do this. Wipe everything what's here. We build up. Right? Hope that's quite clear. But yeah, that's all. And oh yeah, interesting thing. Monthly, of course. I almost forgot about that. Monthly close today, guys. It's the last day of March. The greatest month, right? Some people. Um, this is it. This is monthly candle. So it's gonna be interesting how we're gonna close it, right? And so far, like any kind of strength is welcome into it. But then, yeah, monthly open. We could even push lower, right? That's still possible. Like people forget about that. Like even if we close really good, let me erase all of that. Make it much more clear. Funny enough, because most people like overlook that stuff as well. Like open up a monthly doesn't mean we're gonna go straight like into the heaven, right? Like that's still not the case because you open up and you always have that momentum for like correction or like price settlement. So yeah, you could wick lower first. You could even go back at 59 and then start to reverse and do something like that. That's all possible. And even then, you can do that vice versa, right? Go higher up and then reverse all of that. It all depends, right? But that's why you don't really look like, or you don't trade monthly charts like that because those momentums are happening. And it's nice to see that the oscillator is starting to cooling off, but that's doesn't say anything because we could go into that process like for quite for a long time. Be like really, really cooled off and then turn around. But it's definitely gonna be interesting. And there is a level to look out for, and that's the 58, 58.8. That's been tested, right? That low that's been tested, we settled. That let's make clear about it, but still, I kind of have a feeling that we might see a pit stop. Either we're gonna get back at it, right, or like something like this, or even like that, right? Like on lower time frame, not on a monthly, but so that's still the level that I'm kind of looking on the monthly. That's the only one till we're gonna reach the 31 ish, right? That's the there is nothing in between. Same thing what we did over here, right? Where we front run this all of this, right? This whole structure. So this is still what I'm kind of looking at. We're gonna do. We're gonna front run the 31. Yep. So yeah, that's kind of my takeaway on Biddy so far. Let's have a look on the chat before I'm gonna move on. Jesus, you guys talk a lot. Yeah, like yeah, well, right? Like 1 hour, it's quite interesting to look out for. Right now, we're in a set retest. We need to flip the 60, 67.9 for any kind of continuation, and then you're gonna reach your 68.4, right? And that's barely been tested yet. Yeah. Yeah, MMT. Yeah, that's the one. Cluster above, zero levels. Did Max say break? Yeah, well, why not? We could. I mean, everything's possible, right, guys? Like, don't throw it away. Like, don't think that this is the pit stop and we're gonna bounce from it and we're never gonna be there, right? We still could, like, get back at this from here, sideways, and then wick into this, come back, do the V bottom and whatsoever, right? All possible. Technically, we did it over here as well, right? That's into the bear market, sideways, wick kind of structure-ish into it, go back, V bottom, and then go off, right? So yeah, possible. Pick it up. Yeah, those orders, yeah, they can be a fake orders. So yeah, like if we're talking about those orders over here, right? They could be fake, right? So that one was pulled before it got hit as well. That was a small one, but there is like was quite a stack above it as well, and there is like spread a little bit more above. There is like not much in between, right? So you start to skip between those orders, and so far, like this, so far, like if it's fake order, like yeah, could be, but they are stacking into it, right? It's 1.8, and it started with 1.05. So yeah, I kind of look at it as well. Like if they start to add to the orders, yes or no. If they are starting to add to it, then that might not be the fake order. They start to like push it more into the price. But pumping biddy, keep talking. My voice is pumping biddy. No, I don't think that's not work like that. No, my voice is horrible. Biddy should be scared of it. Run away. Limit order at T83. Oh, here, this one. Yeah, so that was a quick one. Yeah, you might be skipped. And depends as well on exchange. which one you use. If it is like a low volume exchange, then that's slippage. That could skip some orders. Yeah, happens. But yeah, that was a pretty nice one. 8.3. Yeah, that was pretty nice. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. See, like we starting already like reject a bit far away. That's nothing to say about it yet, but we are really like already rejecting from this hip over here, right? That's as well the things that matter. Can I use the lines over here? Right? That's a nice reject already over the hip. Regaining that, you get back at the highs, right? At those ones. So it's not weird that they starting to add to the positions when there is much more resistance below, right? That price. Push it lower. That look quite nice. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna move on the different tokens, and we're gonna check on the Bitcoin in a second. Let me have a look on ETH first. Like I said, ETH performed a little bit more better, just because it did hold and really nice buyback from 2K ish area. So that was really nice push into the highs, and as one of the few ones, it started to regain stuff already. So that was a really nice regain. And now we are holding at the support on it. And yeah, we're aiming to get a little bit more higher up. So if it starts to get above the 2K and $68, let's say, approximately, you start to get into the highs of 2.1, right? So this is the resistance that you need to regain. So that's start to look quite good. And funny enough, I like to joke about ETH, but yeah, it does look a little bit better than structure-wise and price action, a little bit more better than different coins. But that's still quite big resistance over here, what you have, because you've been rejecting that already for 2 times. So let's see how we're going to be dealing with 2.8, 18. And then the sad part is as well that there is one support left, and that's the right now is the support at 1.98, right? Losing that, if ETH decide to lose that, because it still can happen, you start to get back in 1.871, right? That's going to be a quite jump, just because there is seriously nothing else to the left side again, right? But yeah, that's nothing there yet. We are still aiming to go higher on it, so that's still good, right? Potentially, yeah, this is still going into the highs. Let's have a look on the liquidity on it. That's a nice one. At least, I mean, this is really juicy, right? I've been talking about on my stream. Like, I will not be surprised if we're gonna get there and grab that, get into this lows and starting to reverse quite quickly. Because if we start to get into that, that might be even really, really potentially get us higher up with all of that stock liquidity. Like, funny enough, like how ETH behaves and how shitty it can be, it's a really good liquidity stacking process. So that's something to think about as well. And freaking 4 overlapping supports. Like, how often do you see that? And that's, sorry, 3. And that's on 4 hour. That's a proper support. Yeah, that's not something that you walk past that. Really great. Good one. Solana, I have a bit rough time and quite sad, just because we've been holding on the support first thing first, and then we had this swipe and liquidity grab of the market, right, of the lows of even 79. That pushed us quite high into the breaking the stuff above the 83, and now we're failing it. So unfortunate, everything what we did over here was for nothing, because now we are aiming to even go lower, because now you do the on the side retest. If it's not now, it's gonna be at 82. And we have already trend change on the oscillator as well on top of that. And I don't know, I feel we're gonna get back at lows at 77 if we don't start to regain anything significant. This looks that looks rough, especially after that loss. This loss of 81 was it sucks. Yeah, this is what it is, right? We still can go lower. Still have that small support over here. That's a support that I'm still long from it. But yeah, that's still there, untouched, because we didn't test that yet fully. So yeah, potentially we could get back at 76, a swing area of the 4 hour. Yeah. How are we doing with hype? Nice rejection on 43. Perfect. Still broken structure as well, right? We didn't hold on this whole area and even on here, so we broke that. And right now, that's rough. We did broke the 34 on the 4 hour. So there is one last chance to go even back at 34, or at least 30, 34-ish, the high of it, right? So the daily low. Hold on that if we not start to regain right now anything significant else in 37, right? The first regain is this potential hold of the support, and then start to change your structure on it. But we've been there, right? Hype tempt to do that. Hype tempt to break the lows quite heavily, and then out of nowhere, it's gonna just retest, regain, and blast through, even if it skips quite significant structure below with fair value gaps and leverage, because there is a lot of liquidity on it. Yeah, see, there's shitloads of liquidity below. So yeah, interesting stuff, definitely. But still, really nice. We started to get reversal signs on it. Yeah, we start to see some reverse signs. If we start to close the 4 hour right now, right, that's the interesting one, because we need to close it right now. So, and then you could potentially see some potential to go back at the highs. Let's start to kind of turn around 1 hour ish. Yeah, the 37.19 is the area that I would like to regain first. And it's been quite in divergent move, right? I think you can see that, because that's the low. This is high low again, and you start to reverse. So you are in a quite significant divergent move. That's good. Yeah. Um, there is something else that I need to mention as well. I'm just looking at my list. There's a lot of news coming in from today till end of April. So for the next 10 days, we're going to have some volatility coming in, right? Today we have the job openings. Maybe not that something significant, but then from tomorrow, yes, yeah, the first one, 1st of April, PMIs, retail sales now, of course, because the quarters are closing, unemployment rates coming in, non-farm payroll. So yeah, there are some significant numbers for the volatility events. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, definitely. April is going to be, in my opinion, April is going to be much more interesting than the March, because there is a lot of happening. And of course, right, you have the Q2 opening up as well. So that's going to be as well on top of your monthly level, right? What's going to be bringing in 9 hours, right? You're going to have Q2 open up. So that's something interesting. But yeah, still we are at the underside retest, even on the daily on Bitcoin, and 4 hour still need to regain the highs. And then you start to get back at the 68 4-ish. Yeah. interesting stuff. And then on top of that, like I've been mentioning, the monthly close and everything. So the 58 9 AC, that's all the way over here. So quite empty on the stuff. That's why I'm not sure if we're gonna hold on 63, but that could be definitely a bit stop if we start to get the lows. Right. So yeah, we could potentially do technically something like this: swipe, grind again, right, and then do that moving of the cliff. That's why I've been talking about it, that we are similar situation as this, quite similar. That's really funny how. Let me have a look if that's gonna be something. Clean up a little bit. Hmm. Okay. It's something, but start to get scary. How accurate sometimes it can be. But yeah, watch out for our close. It's super important from today. And then, of course, the daily and monthly close is going to be the next important level to keep in mind and look out for it, right? Definitely interesting stuff. Personal, I'm not really holding on the monthly level, also in the March one. For me, March level, it's already quite done because that's been the open one. We reject it, but then reclaim it again. We reject it again. Now we are getting back above it. So we've been up and down through that level way too many times for me. And for me, that's start to get weaker and weaker. So not something that I'm looking at it anymore to hold or to regain. Only one that matters for me is the February level. That's still untouched from 79.1. And right now, the new one, that's going to be the April one. Those are the only two monthly levels that matter for me in my trading and my point of view of it. So yeah, let's see how we're going to be dealing with it. How is the 1 hour? Yeah, we start climbing into it, still at the resistance. So interesting. Any questions? Yes, question. Guys talk a lot. That's good. I love it. Not that much talking on my stream, but nice, Lansby. What's the entry? 6. Ooh, nice. Nice entry. Like huge probably on the way. Yep. The play probably short lost 68. Yeah. Oh yeah, like 66. I'm like, yeah, that's the last hold, literally. Mm. That will be definitely fast, and that's why, right? That's why I'm have a feeling we will do exact the same thing. And because I've been talking about it as well in my streams, and this is something that I've been aiming for, that to have that one more. But what if we're not gonna get that one more and we are doing it right now? Because technically, like, we kind of reach it and front run it, all of this stuff over here, and we can keep this resistance as for like later stuff, right? Like after the bear market or whatsoever, if that's going to be the case. That's still possible. Let me use this, like double on levels, but anyway, but yeah, right, that we could do that. potentially. Why? Because we are breaking stuff to the downside. Like technically already, this is broken. And funny enough, on the wick side, this is broken, but not on the body. But then going again lower, yeah, that easily can be broken. Right, doing this, getting back at all of this. One more sideways, grab all of this longs, and then funny thing is, it's gonna be ugly for people because they already forgot what we did over here. Same exact thing. It's we are doing a technically exact same thing, right? With this whole pooping of the cliff, grinding, failing, done. And then it's gonna be like snowball effect into the lows. Yeah, essentially. There is much more pressure to the downside than even getting back right now. At least I'm not even looking at 74 anymore because the first ever resistance is this. Why? Who's gonna be happy about that? That's why. This is your resistance. This is still downtrending, right? Don't get me wrong. Still, we're gonna regain this. And then of course this is gonna play out because get back at it, you regain anything above that, do the underside retest, you come back for the support, and then you start to, what do you have? Change of character. Right? This is your break of structure, this is your change of character. Simple as that. We are still downtrending. Ooh, yeah, are we close? Are we gonna watch the bits, Pac-Man? Oh, they adding to it. Yeah. This is, yeah, exactly. This is your stable pocket, right? Like, this is high. This is the break of the previous low. This is your stable fib. 1 hour, right? Or low time frame. Yeah, definitely. Definitely it's worth to have like a small short, right? But blast through it, definitely. Is you protecting your shorts if that's played out. Oh yeah, and we did the freaking on the side readers of the weekly as well. That's another significant harassment flip, right? I like when I draw straight lines. That's why I'm not the artist, but a hitter, right? You all can see that. Yeah, fortunate is what it is. And not change about that. So, shall we look at some alts as well? Objective has a little bit rough of the lows. But we do regain the high. This is well at the resistance on the side retest. Perfect. Yeah, broke structure into lows, but you're holding on the support. Great. This could potentially even blast through and continue if we're not gonna go even lower into the support and then turn around. So yeah, potentially, and we saw that, right? That's why I'm looking as well on this metric over here, because you see that the strength is a little bit more in alts than low caps, or sorry, large caps. So yeah, there it is, right? This is your whole structure and the whole strength what shows right now on the metrics. So yeah, same thing, AVEX, even better, to be honest with you. Right, even we got back at 8.3, but that was a perfect buy. Yes, we wick into it. We set a new low, but we did close the body, what matters, above the structure. So regaining that, getting at the highs of breaking stuff already, support, break the into the lower into the support, and yeah, you potentially could blast off on it. So yeah, that's something to definitely look out for it. And render, how's render doing? Ooh, oh, that King. That's a perfect one. That's a perfect. Back at the support. Pass through. Look at that. Another one. Right? Grinding into the support and do another one. Into the high. Next resistance. Why? That's why. Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, see? Yeah, exactly. That's almost as well how I am. Macro bearish, low time frame, huh? Bullish. Exactly. So where do my macro perspective change bullish? Yeah, that's rough. That's rough to say something about it. So for me, personal, it will change, and I'm gonna be bullish. And for more people, some people, it's gonna be weird to hear about that. But I will start to get bullish when the price start to reach above 97 or at least $100, 100K, sorry, 100K of Bitcoin, right? This regain of this, that means doing something like this, coming back and hold on the support. That's this and this. I'm full macro bullish. Only then. That's not gonna happen. Not that perfect because, right, we all know how all that ends up. But yeah, something in the way like regaining, getting at the 100K, going back at the support and then blasting through. Yes, that will change my whole macro perspective. So far, believe me, we are far from it. Not only we need to deal with almost 35% of the movement, but then you seriously need to build some structure for it to even turn around. Lure people into a position. Yeah. Something in the way Nirvana, great song. Oh my God, nostalgia. Yep. But yeah, good stuff. Right? Still good. Still good. Till, and this is really bake that into your like point of view of the whole structure and market sentiment right now. Everything is good till we're not gonna get back at 66, let's say 0.77 area to be accurate, right? This area. If you don't go below that, everything is still fine. You don't want to break that. This is your last freaking line of rescue or hold on. Done. Everything below, it's nuke down. This is it. There should be one line over here. That's all on your charts. Yeah, let's see. So far, yeah, we start to have a good day, and now we need to sustain it. How are we going to do that? At least we need to close anything above 67.7. So, okay, technically, you need two lines on your charts. This. The rest, history. This is it. Nothing else. Anyhow, I think I bored you already enough. It's been a 1 hour, something different that Viking did. I know, I'm sorry for it. I know a lot of people left just because of that. That's, yeah, it happens. I need to cover him, and I did my best. I hope it was good. And yeah, watch out for the 4 hour, definitely. That need to be right now. It's a really good push, and let's see if we're gonna keep up on that and we close anything above it. Right? That's the most important. That's the whole recovery right now. What we did on 1 hour, right now, right, and pushing a little bit higher. We need to recover that low what we broke. That's the only reason of what we're doing right now. If not, down it is. I'm sorry. But yeah, watch out. There is much more above us as well. And as well with the bits, if you like Kayataka, look at it, right? They are quite good on the information. MMT as well is great, but that takes a little bit more time to set up and prepare for it and read into it. But I'm gonna get ready on that one as well. A bit late maybe, but I'm busy on the side, but that's coming. And Viking gives you a quite good good information and insights of it. So tomorrow hopefully it's gonna be back. If not, then I'm sorry, but you're gonna be stuck with me. Sorry. Maybe somebody else is gonna cover it. Let's see. Oh yeah, so far so good, right? Nice bounce back. Let's see if we're gonna hold on to that one. At least 1 hour tries. Oh, long and short. That's a good one. I always forgot about that one. Last peak. Long and short. Yeah, we start to see some step off on it. Not much significant on 1 hour. Daily, like I said, I like to look at daily much more. So we already see the whole flip that we had, right? The longs took over. And then, yeah, we just blast through all of the stops. Every single long been already wiped out into the lows. And let's see. This is still in, if you think in the way of structure and the way how it looks, it's still uptrending, right? So if this start to increase, yeah, yep. But if we start to get closer to each other, then yeah, we might see potential of reversal on it. Yes. Right. But yeah, nice flip. We are still in that continuation on it. We have weekly. Didn't realize that. Let's see how the weekly looks like. Ooh, weekly didn't kiss. Weekly don't like each other. With that, we need to go to significant higher. Yeah. Anyhow, yeah, something to watch out as well. I personally a little bit more on the high time frame on long and short. Not really someone who looks like to look at it in low time frame. So at least 1 hour is still decent, but like I know that people looking at 50 minutes or 5 minutes, but that's changing like way too quick to even depend on it or having a strategy around it. Oh, 1 hour is at least decent, right? Oh, decent to look at it. So see this kind of like this situation. This is not something similar, but kind of like, yeah, this is the uptrend of it. So what we having over here, and then where does it change that uptrend over here, right? Still going, right? Still going. Yeah, that's the case. Then yeah, we'll wipe. Interesting at least. But yeah, watch it, guys. Watch the 1 hour for now, and then we still have another 1 hour of 4 hour candle, but that's going to be definitely deciding parts of today where we're gonna heading. So far, like I said, good hold. Now we need to regain and do the work for upside structure. Okay. All right. I hope it was good and informative and something close to Viking. For sure not, but at least I like to think. Thank you very much. Appreciate you all. Love you all. Keep in mind, it's gonna be a volatile week. Be aware if you're not good in trading those kind of weeks or momentums, then please stay away. It's as well better to stay on the side than trading and getting wrecked, right? And then when the dust settle down, you always can jump into the trading. And yeah, hopefully tomorrow Vike is going to be better and back to you guys with the better information and the market update. So far, love you all and see you tomorrow. Bye bye.